What's going on? It's your boy Bowie here. Here to talk with you guys, not about Sub-Zero, but I want to try to help, players that are beginning their fighting game journeys, because as I've been, talking with players and having conversations and playing sets with them, I realized that a larger growing chunk of my audience is new. They just started their fighting game journey. Maybe this is their first game, or their first game was MK11, or they came from maybe MKX, if we're lucky. But a good portion of my audience is comprised of people who they're early in their fighting game journey. And I wanted to share some nuggets of wisdom with you guys. And even for those of you who are not new, this can be very useful for you as well. You know what I'm saying? And I came up with a list of principles. And this list is fairly long. All in total, I probably have about 20 individual planks. And I'm not going to go through all 20 of them today, because what I did was I separated them into categories. And so this video is going to talk about the first category, and that is what happens before you even play the game online against anybody. So that's what this is all about. So these are the principles that apply before you even decide to go here. Okay. Now, before I get into any of that, I want to talk about who this series of videos is for and who it's not for. Because, like I said, I have divergent needs, and I have a bunch of people that have various outlooks on how they play and how they would like to play. Some people just want to have fun. Some people are not trying to take much of this serious. They may grab some things here and there that they like and whatnot, and that's cool for them. But then I have other people who are like me. People like me, they want to win. But more importantly, they want to have fun as they win. They want to learn how to troubleshoot, learn how to answer their own questions, and apply the answers to those questions in real time. And you are trying to grow as a player. I'm one of those people just like you. And so I want to shed some nuggets of wisdom with y'all. So without any further ado, let me get into that. So let me see, which one's the first? What is the very first thing? Okay. So the very first plank of the fighting game edict, created by yours truly, Bowie here, is this: wired is greater than wireless. So, some of y'all know where I'm going with this. I'm not just going there, but I'm going to go somewhere else as well. So, before you even get up on the horn and decide you're going to go online, I can't even figure out how to show this in here without challenging somebody, because I'm not really trying to do it. But for those of you that are playing this game, chances are you spent quite a bit of money playing Mortal Kombat 1. Chances are you are playing it on a current gen console, PS5, Xbox Series S or X. And so you spent a grip. You or somebody you know spent some money on you and this game and the console that you're playing it on, or even for the PC that you're running it on. So if you're going to play Mortal Kombat 1 or any fighting game and you plan on playing people online, get a wire. Make sure your console or your PC is plugged in to an Ethernet cable. Not only will you have higher quality matches, you're not going to have to deal with random lag spikes as much. You're not going to have to deal with all these crazy things that come with a Wi-Fi connection. But furthermore, I would suggest that you use a wired controller. Me personally, I use a series of controllers. I have the Hori Fight Pad or Fighting Commander 4. I use that quite a bit. I also have my Razer Ryan, which you can hardly get anymore for anything under $100. But when it was out, I grabbed one and I modified it. I even have a channel of that, or a video of that on my channel, where I modified that controller. As of right now, I'm using a wired 8-bit controller. What's the name of this motherfucker here? Hold on. It's the 8-bit Pro 2 wired controller for Xbox and PC. I love it. It's awesome. Wired controllers don't die. Wired controllers have the best input latency, and by best I mean lowest. You never have to worry about the battery on your wired controller dying, because it ain't gonna die. Okay? So I highly suggest that you use a wired controller. Can you get away with a wireless one? Certainly, obviously, yes. And you can have a good, clean time with a regular DualShock 4 that's just connected through Wi-Fi or connected through Bluetooth. However, the DualShock 4 controller has terrible battery life. And there will be a time where you run out of juice in the middle of your damn set, and it sucks. It's happened to me. It's probably happened to quite a few of you. Don't let that be you. All right? So wired is better than wireless. Okay. Two things. They kind of go together a little bit. The practice mode and the tutorial mode are your friends. I'm an experienced fighting game player. I've played all the Mortal Kombats, yet my happy ass made sure to do every single one of these tutorials. Now, these are just combo challenges. I don't care nothing about that. And notice, yes, you can get money. You get money for doing these tutorials, but even if you didn't get anything, I still would have done it. Quite a few of you are asking questions that the game has already answered for you. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of lessons on pretty much everything there is to know about this particular game. And if your game is nice enough to give you such a, comprehensive tutorial mode, you should make use of it. You absolutely should make use of it. Okay? Even if you're experienced, it doesn't hurt to go in and brush up on these skills, because nobody in here is a master of all of these in all situations. All right? So even if you're experienced, it's to your benefit to do these every now and again. And the same thing goes for practice. I live in the lab, which is how I got my nickname, the Sub-Scientist. I'm in this mode more than I play anywhere else. I'm in practice more than I am in invasions. I'm in practice more than I am online. And when I'm in the practice room, I'm not mainly practicing combos. I'm practicing setups. I'm practicing anti-airs and anti-air combos. I'm labbing very particular scenarios with Sub-Zero versus X character. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to know my options against these characters before I fight them, not during the match. All right. And so that plank is specifically, I said practice/tutorial mode is like a breath mint. Always make use of them. And so I meant that. So in keeping with that theme, one of the planks says, hone your weapons offline. Optimize your strategies online. I put offline twice. So anyway, some of you are hopping online far too soon. Some of you will get into the lab, you'll learn a character, you'll learn a couple combos, and you will immediately hop your happy ass online. I can't begin to tell you how much of a mistake that is. No, what you need to do is if you learn a nice little combo for your character, you need to go right here to local. Go to local versus, go to towers, classic, hell, even go to invasions. Like a lot of people shit on invasions as a mode, but one thing invasions is really good at is throwing you bodies to practice combos on. Okay? And so what you can do is you can take your happy ass to these low stakes, no stakes modes where you get to practice those combos of yours against computers. You can practice them on the left and on the right hand side. You can practice hit confirming. You can practice anti-airing. There are so many soft skills that you learn in tutorial that can be practiced against CPUs in these various modes. Now, one of the things I personally really like doing is playing local versus against computers on very, very hard. So, for instance, I'll pick Sub-Zero and I'll fight against Scorpion. You know? And I'll put him on very hard because Scorpion on very hard, excuse me, is kind of irritating to fight. But he will give you openings to kill you or to kill himself. And if you know how to do it, you can fuck him up, you know? And I just do this. I'll run like a 1st to 10 set against the CPU. Yes, I will. And I do that so I can get my combo timing down. Get the muscle memory down. Get all that stuff down. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you lose against a computer, it doesn't fucking matter. You can just play them again. You can play them as many times as you want. Whereas if you go and try to fight a person, you got to deal with motherfuckers backing in and out, possibly being toxic, using their main characters. Then suddenly what starts happening is instead of you trying to learn your character, now you trying to win the match and shit and be preoccupied with your opponent. No, you ain't got time for that shit. You need to be honing your combos offline. Once you can do your combos forwards and backwards in the heat of battle offline, that is when you finally go online and fight against people. Okay? So, there's that. Now, this next set of principles has to do with characters and gameplay. But these are all gameplay things that occur well before you fight anybody. Okay? So, one of the things I cannot emphasize enough is you need to play whoever the fuck you want to play. Play who you want to play. If your main character happens to be this top tier busted ass character that everyone is sick to death of fighting, I don't give a damn. That's your main character. You get to pick them. You get to play them. Okay? My main character was not like this. He's still not quite like this. But he's been top tier in other games. He's been very annoying. Okay, particularly with his ice clone. I don't give a damn. I'm going to pick Sub-Zero. I'm going to pick Sub-Zero because that's what I do. Okay? Don't let nobody talk you out of picking your character. Don't let the community shun you or shame you out of picking your character just because they don't like fighting them. Fuck them. They're not changing anyone for you. You don't need to change for them. You play who you want to play. In keeping with that theme, you play how you want to play. Okay? So Kitana's a zoner. That's what she does. She doesn't exclusively zone the entire match, but she is supposed to control that screen with those fans and sort of keep you at bay. And then when you come in to try to get her and overextend, she fucks you up. That's what she does. Okay? Cyrax is trying to trap you with bombs. She's trying to put out a bomb on the ground, and she's either going to strike or throw you into said bomb. She's going to get the hit, do a bomb setup, and she's going to find a way to strike, throw you into that bomb to do that shit again. That's what she does. That's how she plays. Johnny Cage is going to rush you down. He has fast mids, the fastest mid in the game. He has plus frames. That is what he is designed to do. Baraka is very similar to that. Scorpion doesn't really want to rush you down. He wants to stay in that mid screen. He likes using F3. He likes using stand 2 at ranges where you can't really hit him at. And he's going to hit you with a lot of high damage stuff. Sector is probably the closest we have to a pure zoner in this game. She wants to keep your ass out. Keep you where she wants you to be, which is typically not right next to her. So these characters are designed to play a particular way. And however those characters play, that's how you need to be playing them. And you're supposed to play them the way that they need to play. So if you want to zone, zone. If you want to rush, rush. If you want to counter zone and teleport underneath or around people's projectiles, you pick a character like this. Okay? You play your character the way that they are designed to be played and allow other people to do the same thing. Okay? You have your freedom to pick your character and play them how they play. Your opponent has the same freedom. I don't want to hear no shit about, motherfucker, people picking zoners, they suck at the game. No, bitch. Zoning is a part of fighting games. If someone's picking Sector and they're zoning you to death, that's what they're supposed to be doing. Or if they're picking Shang Tsung and zoning you to death, that's great. That's what they are supposed to be doing. They're supposed to do that. Or if someone's picking Kenshi so that they can do the Sento things and sandwich you between himself and Sento, great. That's what he's supposed to be doing. That is what he does. Okay? So the sooner that you accept that people play the way they play or characters play the way they're supposed to play, the better off for you. Okay? Also, in keeping with that theme, here's another plank. Every fighting style is equally legitimate. I don't give a damn how annoyed you are with Quan Chi zoning you out. I don't care. It does not matter. Or with Sector zoning you out. Or with Reiko doing command grabs and overheads and shit. Or with Johnny Cage being in your grill doing strike throw. Every fighting style is equally valid. Okay? Maybe you don't like some of them, Maybe you like all but one of them. It doesn't matter what you like. Okay? Fighting games are not built to suit your individual tastes. Okay? There has to be individual fighting styles and distinct fighting styles for every type of player. There are some players that only want to zone. Not because they can't rush down, but because they like the idea of controlling space. And those players should have characters, plural, that allow them to play that way. Some people only want to be in your face and rush you down. Great. There should be a character for them to do that too. Characters, plural, that allow them to do that. Forcing all characters to play in one particular way is boring. Okay? And so, styles make fights. Having a hype match between a zoner and a rushdown character might be annoying, but it's hype as fuck. And it's exactly the way fighting games should be. I'm talking two-dimensional fighting games, that is. Alright? So, you play your rushdown, let them play their zoners. Live and let live is basically the principle here. Okay? And then the last thing. Here I'll go to practice here. So, characters, they play in a particular range and they play in a particular way. For instance, Sub-Zero does not play the match this close to the opponent. Sub-Zero does not want to be here. Sub-Zero more often wants to be here at the closest. But really, he's more comfortable being here so that he can trap. Maybe control a little bit of space with this, but I wouldn't throw this from this close. But being out here allows him to bait you to do some dumb shit. Also, his overhead reaches far. His low reaches kind of far, you know? The mid doesn't have bad range either. So Sub-Zero wants to be here at the closest. And if he's controlling space and doing damage to you from out here, that's even better for him. Making you block these and shit. That's what Sub wants to do. By contrast, Johnny Cage wants to be here. I said Sub wants to be here at the closest. Cage doesn't want to be no further than this. So he's the opposite. Notice his best buttons hit within this range. You know what I'm saying? Notice the mid don't even reach from that far. Unless you dash up first. You know what I'm saying? So, Johnny Cage wants to be right here. And so if you're a Johnny Cage player, you don't need to be spending most of the match out here. Unless you're using a cameo in some sort of capacity. Like maybe you've got your Sub cameo with the ice armor and you're doing these. Trying to build your hype up. But the whole time Johnny Cage is here, he's plotting on how to get here. Okay? And so if you're Johnny Cage, that's what you're trying to do. But every character does not need to play that way, and they don't play that way. Alright? But yeah. So these are some planks. Those are some principles that apply before you even pick up the sticks and fight anybody. Okay? And so I'm here to tell you, the more that you absorb these commandments, these rules, the more you absorb them and really like integrate them into your mindset and into your gameplay, the better you'll get. And you'll get better faster. Okay? You really, really will. And I'll be sure to post the individual planks in the description of the video. That way you can see them. And stay tuned for the next video where I talk about what happens once you're in a match. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all stay froze.